Well, on people, and welcome to another episode of Hors D'oeuvres. Nothing's funny as of yet. We're gonna go inside the corner shop. We're gonna see what snack and juice we're gonna grab for today's episode of Hors D'oeuvres. The dogs are barking. Um, Listen, the people are excited. No one's excited. I'm just saying stuff. Before we get into that, you may have seen it already. You probably did. You might not have. Pardon the L'Oreal advertising poses. Let's just get into the crep check, yeah? Once again, boom, on foot today. I got a Nike Air Max 1 Time Warp. I might have explained it already. If I haven't, you can see the strap. Well,
Buckle.
there's the buckle for the strap. Perforations on the toe box. What is that reminiscent of? Sail midsole, full leather uppers, metallic grey swoosh. Now look at the heel as well. Nike Air. Do you recognize that font? Are you old enough to uncouple that font with the patch? Do you recognize what's going on here? If you do, well done. If you don't, well, if you don't, you don't. And I'm not going to explain it. For those who know, shout out you. Anywho, clean stepping as always. Style icon in the streets. But yeah, I've done enough. It's time to get into the hors d'oeuvres and snack away.
Your hands looking healthy, bro.
Cheers, bro. Going Super Saiyan this year. So first off, I'm thinking for the juice. Can't lie, they got a good selection of juices. Ooh. This is gonna be a tough one. I'm saying it's gonna be a tough one. I already seen the figure. I think I might just. No, actually, it's just juice. Pineapple. Straw is missing. Alright, cool. So there's no straw on berries. So, I know what to do with this. We're cool. So we got our juice sorted. Now I need a snack. But something interesting, not the same stuff I get all the time that everyone knows and recognizes. We're gonna go for a wild card. Something that you don't normally see. I can guarantee, listen, all of you watching, you have not come to a corner shop and popped this. So
Yep.
I might have to do that for you. Croissant with forest fruit filling. Forest fruit filling in a croissant. It's a new one. I might grab another something else. Just to keep things interesting here. We shall see if it's still a Madman sweet. Alright, so people, starting off with it's just juice, pineapple juice,
No straw.
no straw. So what I tend to do when there's no straw, you just have to there you go. And then you can it works. And the juice is indeed pineapple juice. It is delicious. I can't remember how much it was, but before these used to be 55p. I feel due to inflation, and when I say before, it's not that long ago, it may be a couple months. They used to have the prices on them. He's probably charging 70p or something now. This was £1. Raw. Okay, if this was £1, because I did see this was 99p. Between these two, this is £1.67.
Jeez.
I don't know who's costing more. Honestly, I've never really been a Fruitella type of person. Starburst only. Um, so we'll see what Fruitella's saying. Do they hold up to the quality of Starbursts? I don't know. Once upon a time, these were heralded as a bad man sweet. I'm not sure if that still holds up. Orange. Okay, another orange. Let me. I can't lie. Orange is usually the best flavor. That's probably the flavor where they have the most actual real fruit juices in there. Oh man, this is yeah. These are super cheap, so you do get the paper stuck onto the sides of them, and then you just have to eat the paper. As dumb as it sounds, it's a bit too chewy.
Too chewy.
Too chewy.
How can it be too chewy?
You see, Starburst, as chewy as it is, I'm not sure how they calculate it, but there's a chew factor, so where it's not too chewy. You can't chew for too long. It allows for disintegration much more easily, so you can chew a couple times. It will disintegrate, and you can swallow. This thing keeps chewing like it's gum until it gets stuck in your gums. So I do understand why I was never a fan of Fruitellas. It is a cheap man Starburst. Sorry about that, Fruitella. If I hurt your feelings, but you man should have leveled up by now. You should be onto bigger and better things. Ironically, coming from me, still eating food on the wrong sides. Moving on to the croissant that I'm pretty sure most people may have seen and definitely never dare touch in a corner shop. This is the equivalent of getting like a Rustler's burger. I think a Rustler's burger it's a bit too. I don't know. That one's a bit more poverty driven. This not quite as much, but still, who like a croissant with forest fruit filling? Well, we'll see what the filling is saying. Because if the jam is laying on the inside, then this might be my very own Percy back. Okay, already we're looking at it is cheap, but the flakiness of the pastry, but the softness of it as well. You're not seeing much. The structural integrity of it is waning, is waning. Um, and it does still feel like a bit of a wet pastry, even though it is quite flaky and ironically dry. It is dry, but the pastry is kind of wet. It doesn't make sense. You know what it is? It's probably they didn't. I don't think they use raw butter. It's probably hydrogenated vegetable oil. This is what's giving that consistency. See a little bit of the jam there. I'm gonna see if that's gonna help the case of the pastry. It tastes cheaper than it looks. I'll tell you that much. The pastry itself, at least in disarray today. But yeah, the pastry itself, it reminds me of when you're in primary school and you just eat garbage. Like you remember those like fairy cakes, but they were like you get 24 for £1 or something, and it was just plastic. Just there's a there's a reminiscence of that. Just fake pastry. just fake baked goods. Was it baked? Most likely. I don't know what else they could have done to have cooked it. But where the original, the real one, would be flour, butter, sugar. It probably is still refined flour of some kind. Butter? No. They're probably going to be using hydrogenated vegetable oil or some type of hydrogenated fat. Sugar? Probably not again. They'll probably be using... What will they use? Glucose syrup? Most likely. Glucose fructose syrup, to be more exact. Jam is tasting fake as well. What's this thing saying?
It says part of your seven a day.
You see, this is the marketing. These clowns. As far as croissants go, I thought I even forgot about scoring. This is the main thing though. Like the rest of them, it's not that serious. The juice. If I was gonna give it a score for pineapple juice, still 4.3. For croissants, this thing is it's a 3.6. It's not that horrendous overall, but when you break it down, it's a pretty terrible croissant, both by design and by taste. I'm saying that it's not actually terrible. It's just poor quality. And this is another thing I hate as well. Look, I'm like halfway in, and it looks like the jam is running out. I'll take another bite. So, man just got finessed. £1, and the jam only goes halfway through. Man, I'm lucky it was garbage anyway. Alright, I was gunning them. I took another bite, and more jam reappeared. So, fair play to you, man. You jammed up on both sides. The middle did get a little bit dry for a hot second. I was about to dump the whole thing, and then I thought, you know what? Give it one last chance. Quality is still in the gutter, but hey, I paid for it, so I'm gonna eat it till the jam is done. People, that was the end of this week's episode of Hors d'oeuvres. Hey man. Hey, there's chicken on the way. Just know that much. There's chicken on the way. So it's just a little something in between. Keep you amused. But there's chicken on the way, don't worry. Second channel, Nasium, we're moving now. There's motion, activation.